Hi everybody, it is Nick here from SquareKicker. Hey, I wanted to create a quick video because often in customer support we hear from you wonder, does SquareKicker slow down my site at all? I want to make sure that my site's running fast and performant, and SquareKicker is actually designed to run as fast and as lightweight as possible. So what I wanted to do is actually show you a little video, a sneak behind the scenes of what SquareKicker is actually doing when you're editing your site, and also what's happening on the front end of your site and why it's actually running so fast and also why it's so lightweight. So let's just jump in here to the site here. So when you install SquareKicker, I'm just going to go into website tools, code injection, and you can see in here we've got the installation script here, and just below it is this kind of SK spinning logo. If you look real close, in fact, you could probably actually see that there's an image back there. Keep that in mind. That's just a bit of an Easter egg. We're always dropping interesting, funny images in there just for fun. And another time I'll show you how to actually see and find the image. But for this video, I'm just going to show you, if I actually look at this, there's actually a whole bunch of code behind here. And what we've done is actually just kind of hide the code because we don't want this to be distracting if you actually use this for other things. So just a little bit of a secret here. If I go and hit, Shift Command down and then delete that, and then I'm just going to undo it. It removes that spinning parrot, spinning SquareKicker logo, if you will. And you can see that there's some jumbled up looking code here with funny colors. Now, this may not look like anything to most people, including me who knows how to code. But when I look at this, it's not human readable. And that's because a human doesn't need to actually read it. A computer does. And so it's a big, long line of string. And that's important because the less spacing in custom code, the faster it will actually run. So when you're using SquareKicker, it's actually minifying and making your code as lightweight as possible so it can be rendered even faster on your site. Now, when that code is not just static, it's not just written once. So when I go into edit here, and let's just say I want to make a change to something on SquareKicker. So I'm going to go into my SquareKicker tools and maybe make an overlay here. I'm just going to do something fun. I'm going to make like a gradient color and choose my Squarespace palette, but go to custom and make it a bit transparent. And then I'll make the gradient kind of, in the corner here, something like that. So when I hit apply, what's happening is actually this blinking blue dot. It was so fast. You saw that. It's actually creating that custom code. It needs to create that image overlay, and then it's saving it in my custom code area. So if we go back here, we won't be able to really tell, but if we do the same approach, delete and undo, this actually should be at the bottom somewhere. It's actually added some custom code for that gradient actually in here. Now, in order for that to happen, it has to remove that custom code and upload a fresh new copy. Here's the fun thing. If you just go ahead and just delete this for some reason, and it's all broken or whatever happens here, I'm just gonna do that and fully delete it and just hit save. And this is gonna be pretty exciting. I'm gonna hit save here, and you think, oh no, what if my client gets a hold of this code? What if I mess it up? There's no fear because SquareKicker is always looking at that code, and if it's missing or not there, it goes, hey, I'm missing, and it puts it straight back in again. This is even more fun if you actually delete all this code here, and I do this there, and I'm actually gonna cut this and put it in the footer, which is not the right place to put it. And we usually put it in the header because it actually renders faster in the header because that's the first thing as the website reads. It reads SquareKicker first. But if people put it in the footer by accident, you can hit save here. And let's just see if this still works. I'm pretty sure it still does. I'm just gonna wait for it to be saved. Custom code injection area, wait. It's back into my header again because SquareKicker is always trying to perform the best things for your site and making it work accurately. And let's just say you pasted something in here. Let's just say we go in here and something really bad got messed up. I'm just gonna see what happens because it actually might get fixed because it notices something's not working. Look, I've actually deleted some of my code and it's showing up on the top of my header. So that's not good, it's not looking great. So I'm just gonna delete all of that and you can just start over again and SquareKicker will just rebuild it again. If that's still not working, we have this tiny little button up here under support that says refresh. And when I click refresh, what it's gonna do is it's gonna do the same thing as deleting all that code, finding it and rebuilding it again. So if it's not quite looking right, things aren't looking right in the live site, you click that button refresh and all it does is just rebuilds that code from the backup. Here's the next thing that's cool to know. And if you delete a Squarespace block, so you go to here and now I have got this block and I delete it. Normally, if you've written custom code unique for that block, you'd have to go hunt around in the back end of your site to try to find that custom code, that block ID, and remove that. Well, SquareKicker knows that you deleted that. SquareKicker knows if you delete a section, a page, a block, and it goes, hey, I don't need this anymore. I'm gonna get rid of it. So it goes hunting for that code, finds it and removes it and cleans it up. So your code is always as fast and lightweight as possible, which is something that we try to do with every single site. Now, notice that when you're thinking, all right, so SquareKicker is fast to build, it's lightweight code, but it's still code, right? Like code should slow down my site. It will do, but when I say it will do, it will slow it down by the minuscule amount of codes possible. So right here on the front end of my website, I'm just gonna refresh this here. And I've obviously removed my image. And if I go to inspect, now inspect really basically means you can look at the back end of your site. So if I go to the elements and I scroll to my top, I can see there's all that custom code sitting here for my site styles and sitting here like this. So all that custom code is sitting on your actual website, and we don't need to render any third-party scripts or third-party code. So what I mean by that is sometimes code is being hosted on another platform, another website, another domain. Well, SquareKicker doesn't need to do that. It's already on the website, so it doesn't need to slow itself down by rendering a third-party script. Anytime a website needs to go elsewhere to find a script and download it from another server and showing your website, that actually slows down that performance of that code. So because SquareKicker is already there, it loads so fast. In fact, it actually loads faster than Squarespace. In fact, if I go into the network speed here and I jump in here and refresh the network speed, I can see all the things that are actually loading here. So I can look at my time. This whole website is loaded in 1.4 seconds. And if I organize by what's taken the slowest amount of time, I say, okay, the website took 1 second to load. And the code, the custom code that I have on here, it doesn't show up on here, but when your site is live, it actually turns it into a CSS file. And most of the time, the largest amount of custom code will run is a fraction of a second. And this image here alone, or these images, are actually the things that slow your site down the most. An image might take a second to load or less, but roughly the code is actually the fastest thing to run your site. And especially with SquareKicker, it is lightning fast. In fact, it is so lightweight, it is actually, as I said, faster than Squarespace's site styles, which if I look in here, the preview, here's all the custom code for Squarespace's site styles, and that loads really fast. I think all of the site styles in the entire site is loading so fast. In this case, it's not even showing up, it's 0 milliseconds because it was so fast. So that's just a little bit of fun tips to show you guys on how quick and fast Squarespace and SquareKicker work together. We really want to make sure that your customizations are running lightweight and fast and delivered on your site, so much so that it makes it seamless when you add any custom code to your site. So hope you have learned something about SquareKicker, and if you have any more questions, always feel free to reach out to our team at support@squarekicker.com.